Embrace It, the community podcast exploring the intricacies of personal growth, mental health, and resilience in the face of life's challenges. Topics tailored for a global audience. Now, let's talk about it with your host, Bracy Goodwin.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Thank you again for joining in to the Embrace It Community Podcast. I'm so glad that you had this opportunity to join in. If you're watching live, thank you for joining in. If you are streaming at another time, I appreciate you all. And I just wanted to just say a few things before we get started. If you haven't followed the community, it's under the Community Podcast. That's what it says, the Community Podcast. But once you type that in, you'll see Embrace It, the Community Podcast. So I just want you to know that that's how it is being on my page that I'm waiting for Facebook Meta to go ahead and make it so that I could stream directly from there. But I got some news also from Facebook too, that as of I think they said February, only your videos and your streaming and everything like that is only going to stay on for about 30 days now. So you got to have a streaming service. So I am using a streaming service so that way I can keep everything in my library. And then I'm also being aired on YouTube live also. So it is coming on YouTube as well. But thank you again for joining in. Once again, hello to my followers in Nairobi, Kenya. I appreciate you for watching and listening in. It means so much to me. And then also over in the Dominican Republic, I have a lot of followers over there as well. Hola to you over there. It is so great to be here. And I always like to start off my podcast every week, talk about suicide prevention because it means so much to me. And if you are dealing with it or need to talk about it some more, you need to talk to somebody about um, suicide prevention, or you're feeling a certain kind of way, please do me a favor and dial 988. That is the suicide hotline prevention number so that you will have that support that you need. Okay. Never feel that you are alone. Never feel that you aren't loved or supported. We all go through the mental challenges of feeling like I'm alone, or depression. It's real. Depression is definitely real. It is real. So I want you to know that you do have the support system available to you. I felt that way, so I'm not ashamed to be transparent and say that I know what the feeling is. I may not know your feeling, but I know what the feeling is. So that suicide hotline prevention number is 988. Okay. Feeling a certain kind of
Good
way,
evening
please do me a
to
favor good evening to the followers that's on. Andrell Perry, thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate you as well. Thank you to the Mount Rose Church members that are joining in that let me know that they are watching as well. I appreciate all of you. Last week, I was talking about rebuilding your life. I was really getting into rebuilding your life. Rebuilding your life is something that we need to take time and take a look at deeper. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, we need to take a look at it. This weekend that just passed, we had a men's breakfast and it was phenomenal. My pastor said there was over 1,000 men there, but we had a good time, and so that was really something that I enjoyed. And I want to say thank you, Mount Rose, for putting on the men's breakfast. It meant a lot. It really does mean a lot when I do see that happening. And of course, we have the locker room discussion, and that gets into a deeper session of men topic talking. And one thing that stuck out to me this past weekend, Pastor Jamal Bryant was having his as well. One thing he said to that on his live stream as well, and it was talking about men. What is your plan to becoming a better man? What is your plan to become a better man? And some of the topics that he was touching on, he says, if you are still acting as you are 15 and you are 40 years old, then you need to stop and think about the life that you have going on now and what you got going on in your life. But all of this talks about what I was talking about, rebuilding your life, rebuilding your life. And of course, I myself had to look at some areas in my life where I had to say, what is my plan to being a better man? What am I doing to help myself? What am I doing to educate myself? What am I doing to build up character about myself? And so a lot of people sometimes don't even understand that that is an area where you need to take a minute and pause. If you find yourself going through some things, take a minute and pause and say, where am I in my life? So think about that for a minute. And then I got us on live feed. And if throw it in the chat if you want to make this an open forum. I want to make it an open forum. I said, don't I want to make it an open forum. So I want you to go ahead and chime on in on this topic, chime on in it, and let me know what you're thinking. What is your plan to being a better man? But rebuilding your life. Last week I left off and talked about a couple of areas where when what we need to do as far as starting over. And one of the main topics is the main areas that I talked about was seeking support, surrounding yourself with supportive community, surrounding yourself. And so that's where I left off. Do you have that community of support that you can surround yourself around that will help you get through any challenge that you find yourself going through? Do you have that? If you don't have that, you might need to look for it or find yourself in a good Bible teaching church that have the different organizations and the different groups, men impacting, the youth impacting, women impacting. Find yourself a good church that will help you in that area to get you to where you need to do to get that support that you're going to need because you can't do this alone. I tried to do it alone. I tried. I tried to do it all by myself. And I find myself going deeper, deeper, deeper by holding all of this stuff in and not having anybody to talk to. So you got to find that support group. And then let's talk about faith and mindfulness. Faith and mindfulness. Man, that is such a big area where people don't know how to separate the two, faith and mindfulness. Where is your faith? Engage in practice. You got to practice some areas about uh, nurturing your spirit. Nurturing your spirit, like I said, some of the things that I've started doing first thing in the morning. One of the things I started doing was that morning meditation, and that's talking, having a conversation with me and God, just me and Him having this conversation before I touch any device, before I turn on any remote and turn on any TV. I have this conversation with God, and pretty much I'm listening and I'm talking. And so I am nurturing my spirit with this positive energy that I'm putting out about having a good day, what I'm entitled to, healthy eating, all of the above, and how my day I want it to turn out. All of these things that is a conversation that you need to help with your faith and nurturing your spirit. And then also meditation and then spending time in nature. That's another area that I like to do. I find myself what is called my secret place where peaceful waters flow. Everywhere I lived, I found a place where I know I can go just to rest and abide under the shadows of God's nature. That sound of nature beats the sound of anything, any negative person or any office environment or any traffic environment, anything like that. You get away and find yourself some peace and some nature. It is so healthy for your spirit. It'll help you clear your mind and just take your mind off of some things that we find ourselves cluttering ourselves with every day. So, what are we doing? What are you doing? Throw it in the chat. I'm looking for you to throw this in the chat because I want to talk about this some more. I want feedback on it. What are you doing? How is this working for you? How are you managing your life? How are you managing rebuilding and replacing and moving forward in anything? And it does not always have to rely on a relationship. What about your job situation? What about what's going on in the government, within our government, with everything that's taking place with the tariffs and the cutting back on jobs. How are you dealing with that? Whether you're a married couple and one works for a government agency, are you mentally prepared to handle the load if one of the incomes that were coming in is no longer coming in? How are you going to deal with that, community? I want to know how this is affecting you as well. The prices of everything that you see and need on a daily basis, it's constantly going up. And I had a conversation with my insurance company, and they explained to me the reason why I had such an increase is not so much because of my driving record or anything that has to do with my background, but it's what's going on in the economy where the parts and labor is now costing the insurance company more. So everyone that has insurance, the pieces of that pie is now being put on your plate, okay, for you to digest and you to eat. Can you afford to do it though? This is the thing. Can you afford to do it? And this is why so many people are driving around without, because they cannot afford to do it. And so if you're looking at the plan for your life, if you're looking at the way that this world is going, you've got to have a plan. What is your plan to be a better man? What is your plan to deal with the things that we're dealing with in this world today? What is your plan? Do you have a plan? I'm waiting for some chats to come in here. I'm waiting to see what people are saying. What are you doing? What are you doing? What is your plan? You have to have a plan. So many people are now going off grid and building and buying land outside of the grid and building and raising their own vegetables and growing their own vegetables and their own chickens. And I've seen goats and I've seen cows on their planting. And I'm watching this and I am just amazed on how they're doing this and how many tools are available to help you do it, even if you want to do it for yourself. So there's so many things that are now being put out there for us to try to make sure that we're going to be okay in these times. This time that everybody is predicting to be not as good as it has been in our days. So make sure that you are being aware and educating yourself on what you might need to do. All right, to rebuild your life. So I'm gonna go on. I'm going to. So faith can be a powerful anchor during terrible, turbulent times. Your faith, if you don't have faith, if you don't have faith, it can be a tough journey for you. So you've got to have something that's going to anchor yourself in when you're going through some turbulent times. I was speaking with a brother today that was dealing with the death of loved ones back after back after back. And for some reason, as he was walking by, and I said, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" He said, "I'm okay." I said, "No, man, how are you doing?" And he said, and then as soon as he sat down, it like the weight came off of him and he began to open up on what was boggling his mindset. So Marcella, she just mentioned something on her stream today, talking about how are you doing, making sure that you take a minute and talk about how you're really doing. Like we said, if you don't have that support, you got to have it. So find yourself somebody that you can talk to. Find yourself that there's somebody that you know that you can share what's going on in your life to help you so that you can feel better. And after I had my conversation with this brother today, he thanked me, honestly thanked me and hugged me and said, "Thank you. Thank you." Because I did share with him, I said, you have to remember some things in this faith walk that we're in. God is not going to put more on you than you can bear. Okay. So keep that in mind. So that helps you when you keep getting hit after and after everything just keeps falling on your plate and everything keeps coming your way. You have to remember that God's got you as long as you keep your faith anchored in Him. So that's the powerful key. All right. Making sure that your faith in God is anchored in turbulent times. So keep that there in your arsenal. What about educating yourself? How can we educating yourself? Like, here's some things that I want to recommend to you. Consider taking up some new skills, getting involved in activities that may interest you. I'm hearing a lot about this sport now called pickleball. And I'm learning that it's an activity that's really good for you and it's a fun sport. And I'm still waiting. I'll have to watch it on YouTube and see how the game is actually played before I actually go out there and try it. But for me, I like bowling, and I just post something about bowling and playing golf. I don't. I like playing golf, but I'm not so much a pro where I can play golf. But anyway, find yourself an activity. Got to get yourself an activity where you know that you can help you and educate yourself and take your mind off of things. And anybody plays pickleball, please let me know. I'm really interested in learning how to do it, and there's a couple of places here in Dallas. I want to check it out and see if I can withstand the game, and just to see how it's going. But everybody says that it is fun and it is something that you will enjoy. So get yourself an activity, all right? This not only helps distract you from the things that you're going through, but it also opens up doors and opportunities to make connections with people that can help you out. Believe it or not, these people that you will come in contact with, you never know, and they will probably be like, "Hey, man, I got you. I hear what you're dealing with, and thank you, for sharing it with me. But let me help you. Here's an avenue. Here is a door. Here's a phone number. I want you to contact them and make sure that you're getting that support. You got to get that support. You really need that support. So make sure you do that. Do that for you. Don't do it just for me. Do it for you. All right. And find yourself some activities that you can do, some things that will take your mind off of the way of this world is going. How about just turn off the TV and not even watch the news when it comes on? I don't even do that anymore. This was a conversation in the barbershop, and we were just reflecting back on the good old shows that used to come on TV and what some of the barbers still watch, Andy Griffin, all of those good shows, and I Love Lucy. Those were fun shows that people just watch. And it took your mind away, whether it's the 20, 30 minutes, it took your mind away from whatever your day was. That stuff takes your mind off it. My show that I happen to watch, and it's just an oldie but goodie. It's called In the Heat of the Night. And I watch the repeats of that over and over and over again. It's just something about it. It's educational, and it just opened your eyes to what was going on in those times. Sparta, Mississippi, supposedly where it was, but it's just where I find myself being able to just relax. And then next thing you know, before I know it, it's that time to for the news to come on, and I don't even watch it anymore because I refuse to boggle down my mind with the troubles of the world. I'd rather just take my time and use it wisely while I have it. So I'm not going to do those things. I refuse to sit there and watch it. So that's just another avenue, just something else for you to do. Here's another one. Here's something else that I know a lot of people do and they talk about doing. And you can do this in a group of people. Create a vision board. Creating a visual board, visualizing your goals can be incredibly motivating. When I tell you it can, oh, I'm writing down, like I said, I like to journal, but the vision board is something else that I just want to put up. And that can be a cardboard, that can be anything that you want to creatively put together for yourself. But as long as you have the vision in front of you, that can be so, so motivating. So create yourself a vision board. Put yourself together a plan. Get yourself a plan to want to do something, and watch it when you're able to just check it off that I did it. I accomplished this. Or you might be struggling in one area, but when you get yourself out in the community and you start playing those sports like pickleball and playing golf, and you're going out bowling, you're finding yourself talking and networking with people. Even at the barbershop, I was surprised to just having a conversation with my barber. He's cutting my hair. He says, "Yeah, there's another guy who comes in here that's a veteran. You might want to talk to him," because I was having some conversation about the veteran and what they put us through. And sure enough, I got a chance to meet this gentleman, and we locked in, we networked, and he was telling me some ins and outs, some things that I needed to do. So it's all about getting out, networking, getting in the community, finding yourself, surrounding yourself with positive people that can get you out of the funk that you are in. Find yourself those things, whether it's all men's group or women's group, whatever it is, it's there. The opportunity there, but we won't know if you don't say help. I need help. So I'm inviting you today, if you do need help finding some things that will help you to the next chapter of your life, reach out. Just put it in my chat, DM me, put it in my DM and let me know what you're looking for. And I have networks and networks of people. I don't care where you are. Doesn't matter where you are. The help is there. The help is there. So you just have to say, I need help, or I'm struggling, or I need assistance, or I need someone to talk to, or I've fallen and I can't get up. That is a commercial that comes on TV all the time, but we look at it as a senior citizen falling and have her alert button. But so many people have fallen spiritually and can't get up, mentally and can't get up. And that's why I talk about suicide hotline prevention so many times, because it's a silent struggle that people deal with. So if you have fallen and you can't get up, just do me a favor and reach out to somebody in your community. Like I said, in your church, 988 for suicide prevention, or DM me and let me help you get up. I don't mind doing that, because that's the purpose of my podcast. That's the purpose of me streaming this information. And I don't care if I only have 5 people joining on every night. If I can touch one life, save one life, then it's well. I did my job. That's all it means for me. I don't have to have 1.5 followers, 1.5K followers. I don't have to have 800 followers. It doesn't matter to me. That's not the reason. This is not my quest. And this is not why I'm on here, just to gain followers. Yes, it would be nice. It would be nice if you do come on and follow, and then because you can share this information. It may not be for you, but you might know somebody who is struggling and who was going through what I'm talking about at the time. I'll never forget about the time I was in San Antonio. I was going to New Creation Christian Fellowship, and it was Men's Day. And I was asked at the last minute to give a 5-minute encouragement speech. And it was just all of a sudden, it wasn't planned. It was just that Sunday. And I kind of froze and I said, what can I talk about? And I decided at that moment to be transparent. And I talked about when I was a young boy going to public school. I had to be maybe 7, 8 years old. And I had a teacher that attempted to molest me. Um, and I didn't understand. I couldn't understand it at that age, what he was trying to do. I didn't understand why he was having me to sit on his lap. I didn't understand why he was keeping me behind while all the other kids went ahead. And I dealt with that and I held on to that. Didn't have anybody to talk to. Thank God nothing ever happened, but he attempted a couple of times to sexually molest me. And as I got older and I realized what he tried to do, it angered me. It angered me, and I just wanted to see him so I can just really honestly, I don't know what I would have done if I was to ever see this man or saw him ever again. He's probably dead and gone, but it's just something that I held on the inside and didn't know how to talk about. Hey, somebody tried to molest me. And how many young men, how many boys, how many grown men hold on to that, or is dealing with stuff like that where they were molested or they were sexually assaulted or they were raped, young men and young women. How many people have in I don't even know. I don't even want to know, but I just want, and the reason why I did that is because I believe God laid it on my heart to do it. And here's how I know that God laid it on my heart to talk about that. I grasped the attention of the whole congregation. There had to be over 200 people in there, but only one person came up to me after church was over. And the lady said to me, thank you for sharing your story, because my son is dealing with the same issue. And it just made me say, wow. And I said to myself, if I can touch one person with a word or song, then my living is not in vain. So that blessed me, touching that one person. So I say to you tonight or this afternoon, whenever you're watching this, if there's anything that you are struggling with or that you're dealing with, that you're finding yourself stuck in and can't talk about it, and don't know who to talk about it, there is help for you. There are professional counselors, there are therapists that are out there that will help you with this, that will take you through this role. Reach out to your community church, reach out to your community. Yes, it's embarrassing. Yeah, it can be embarrassing. You know, how you think I felt without not ever talking about this and didn't know how to talk about this because I was already being bullied as a kid and made fun of by my parents and talked about saying I wasn't going to be nothing, never going to amount to anything, or anything positive was ever going to happen to me. And so on top of that, I'm dealing with a teacher trying to molest me. So how do you talk about that when you're already not feeling loved in your own home as a kid? So these are the things that people struggle with every day. And like I said, I don't it doesn't bother me whether or not if you join in or you follow, whether it's 10 people, 8 people, 5 people, one person I am trying to make an impact on. If I can make an impact on one person, then my living is not in vain. So, like I was saying, I'm sorry to get carried away with that because I just think it was important to share that it's okay to be transparent as well. So, creating that vision board, setting goals to help motivate yourself, gathering images about what you're trying to do, put some quotes on there as well. One of my favorite quotes: I am worthy of a healthy relationship. I love my children. I love my life. Okay, these are things that I have on my vision board that I say to myself every day. I am worthy of all of these things here. And this is what I like to talk about and what I will continue to talk about every day about me. Okay, because I'm trying to be a better me. Like I said at the beginning, what is my plan to become a better man? And this is my plan. And these are the things that I'm doing. So these vision boards with the quotes, anything that can inspire you, put it on there. Anything that will help you, put it out there. Create a vision board that represents the hopes for the future and place it somewhere where you can see it every day. Put it somewhere where you know that every day where you walk in, I don't care if it's in the bathroom, right there, where it is, where your mirror is, when you're getting yourself together, put it there so that you can motivate yourself because motivation starts within, and then you can get the help that you need because that's the first thing that a counselor is going to say. Well, what are you going to do? Why are you here? What do you want us to do? Where are you trying to go? So self motivation helps. Okay. Then let's talk about embracing the change. Embracing the change. Remember, rebuilding your life is a journey. This is a journey. Okay. This is not going to happen overnight. It's not guaranteed to happen until who knows? All right. I'm 62 and I am now embracing change and looking at the journey where I've been. Yes, I made mistakes. Yes, I've fallen. Yes, I've been married several times. Yes, I have children out of wedlock. But these are the things that I am embracing and moving forward with and welcoming in the process of being a better me and being a better me. And I gotta remember, you gotta be gentle with yourself because that was a struggle for me. I was so hard on myself. I was beating myself up every day. And sometimes I still do it. I still beat myself up because I don't feel that I'm doing enough or I'm not doing it right. So these are the things that I still struggle with, that self beating up. And what is the word for it? Not self beating up, low self esteem. Low self-esteem, I struggled with low self-esteem, struggle with that. So, I'm sorry, I gotta turn my mic off there. So I struggle with that, and then, now I'm seeing everybody's joining on here. I'm sorry, so I'm glad you're joining in here. I'm gonna go back in here and try to answer some of the questions, here that's on here. Yes, let's see. Good evening, Myron, my man, my brother Myron. Man, thank you for joining in. Cynthia, thank you. I see you. Thank you for joining in. Aquanetta, thank you. Extend the same grace to yourself that you extend to others. That's hard. That's hard, but I'm working on that. I really am working on that. But thank you for saying that as well. There's a great satisfaction In volunteering, yeah, I'm working on doing some volunteer work. We do it at the church a lot, but I'm working on those things too. Lisa, good evening. Thank you. Hey, Griff, thank you, sir. James, brother, I hope you're doing better. It's good to see you back out, getting your vehicle back out to get back on the road, man. It's so good to see you on here as well. Let's see here. Mr. Page, hold on. I'm trying to do this multitasking at the same time. I hope you're doing better. Hold on. Got to kill the mic there. But thank you guys for the comments. Thank you for joining in. But the main thing, like I said, I want you all to know that there is help for you. You're not alone. You're not alone. Nobody's alone. Nobody's alone in this struggle. And there were times that I was thinking that I was alone. Um, my faith and my growth was challenged today. Just today, I had to take a minute back and step back and said, I can't. Not saying I can't be nice to everybody, but I can't allow certain things or certain people in my life anymore. And I got to stop worrying about certain people and certain things that were in my life before. I have to like let them go, cut them off. And when I'm saying cutting them off, I'm to the point where I'm blocking and deleting. So those are some of the things I want to talk about too. But that's another segment about Linda. But let's continue on. And already here we are in 30 minutes in. But thank you for the comments. It's about finding a new path, opportunities, and sometimes it's the greatest transformation that comes from the most challenging experiences. Yeah. That's when your biggest change you'll see over your life when you make it through the biggest challenge that you find yourself faced with. Okay. So don't be afraid to go through it as long as you know you're going through it and there is support for you as you're going through it. You're not stuck, you're just going through it. But the only way we're going to know how to help you is if you reach out. Like I said, get yourself into counseling. In my DMs, please get in my DMs and say, you know, here's where you need help. And this is why I'm here. And this is why it's called the Community Podcast, because I'm about the community. I'm not about the congregation only. I'm about the community. And that's why I like walking in my calling of chaplaincy, because I'm about the community. Okay. So the next segment that we have here tonight, because I don't want to hold people too long. I'm hoping to share some inspiring stories from members in our community on the next one that we have, who have faced some significant challenges and emerged in a stronger growth on the other side. I'm hoping to really talk about that a little bit some more. I want to read some of these comments that's coming on here. Thank you, Lisa. Cutting off the bad elements in your life is the way of healing and growing into what God has for you, and never look back. That's the hardest thing to do, Lisa. And that whole statement that you said, don't look back. Because sometimes we do find ourselves looking back. And that's why you got to clean out some stuff and get rid of some stuff so it won't allow you to get reflect back. So when you find some things that you know that were from your past or had to deal with your past, whether it was a past marriage, past job, past whatever it was, you got to get rid of that stuff. And that's why I said today I had to block and delete. Okay. I had to do that today so that I will never ever be able to reflect back in my phone and say, oh, here's that number. I'm not doing that no more. No, I had to get rid of that stuff. So as I about to wrap this session up, I want to thank you all again for joining in on this episode. And I want to remind you that rebuilding your life is not about moving on. It's about moving forward with a purpose. That's what this is all about. You got to move forward with a purpose and you got to have faith. You got to trust the process. Trust the process. You got to have a community that you can lean on. You can't do this by yourself. It's not going to work if you try to do it by yourself. It's not going to work. All right. You got to have a community. Find yourself a community. If you don't have a community, if you don't have a Bible teaching church that you can attend, there's plenty of them online. So you make sure that you tune in online and find you somebody. But I'm telling you, there's nothing like going into going into the sanctuary at times, and sometimes that helps you more. So trust the process. All right. Lean on your community and embrace the journey. Embrace it. You're gonna make it. You're going to make it. You don't have a choice. You are going to make it. You want to know why you're going to make it? Because I'm here to see that you do. So, like I always say, remember, I love you, and that's only because I love me first. Thank you all again for joining in. Please do me a favor, like and follow the page. Like I said, it's called the Community Podcast on the main page, but just like and follow it. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook. But thank you. Thank you so much for joining in, and I appreciate you. And I hope to see you again next week. I won't be on. So it'll be the week after, and I'll give you more updates on it, on some infomercials that I'll put on there. But I won't be on there for next week. All right. But thank you. Thank you so much for joining. All right. Listen, be blessed.
Thank you for listening to Embrace It, the Community Podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Follow the Community Podcast page on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Please like and share the podcast with your community circle.